Are you on a forklift?
Yeah, yeah.
You are a son of a bitch.
Un saluto a tutti.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the AJC. We're laughing here. I'm a little bit out of breath, okay? Holy. Forgot something I wanted to pull up because the Azzuri are going to play in about 28 minutes or 18
Really?
minutes or so. They're going to start up. I'll have it going in the background and give you guys something, but we're going to chat everything Juve today. Anth, how you doing, man?
Man, I am, once again, living the dream. For me, it's the off season, right? Thank God that Lou and Omer do the news, or else I would be totally mentally at the beach, gaining weight like do sun there with like a little bit like the rolls, the belly rolls. That'd be me. That's me mentally. Whoa. And then boom, who else we got? Yes. See, look
There
at
we
this guy. This
go.
guy's
Oh.
ready for the beach.
The
Me
boys are
mentally,
back
I
in
look like
town,
Omer.
baby. Off
Boys
season.
are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
No singing, please.
Yeah.
Hey,
Can we
charge
mumble?
admission.
That's green room.
No,
Yeah.
Tony, I see you got disturbed by my picture of Dushan with the flaps in his belly.
That looks
No,
like
the-
me right now. That's how I would look if I was sitting by the pool.
Yeah,
someone
but
took
you're
a
not.
picture.
But you're not a 23 professional footballer, so
Good point.
Gonna say what's up to everybody in the live chat. Nice seeing you all. Hope you're all having a great off season so far. Try to take it easy and relax amidst all the rumors. I love mixing it up with you all, okay? And in the WhatsApp discussions, the group ones. Thank you to everybody for the continued support. All right, YouTube's been doing fantastic. The memberships, again, reminder to anybody who has become a member that's in tier 2 or 3, you have the ability to join us in the team WhatsApp group chat, okay? And that
I
chat
sent a
can
beauty
go
last night.
anywhere, all right? So it's good stuff. Having a lot of fun in there. And sometimes I drop little rumblings that I'm getting in there, and we don't always post it or stick to it because, yeah, we just keep some stuff close to the chest there. But it's a great time. I want to remind everybody the memberships have kicked off for Juventus official fan clubs. All right. So we're happy to be the official voice and channel of all the North American fan clubs. Check one out near you. And even if you're outside of North America, there's so many that are great. The ones in Serbia, the ones in Australia, like just a ton of great fan clubs. If you need help finding one near you, reach out to us. Then, of course, Display Pro. You see the new backdrop, new setup, whatever. Display Pro. AJC10 is your discount code, all right, if you want to start showing off some kits. Had a lot of people asking about that. Yeah, these displays, I like them. They're clean, easy, and I could change it up within seconds. So great stuff there. Now,
Well, with the
what
Display
happened to your
Pro,
background?
what's that?
what's that?
What happened to your background? You're sitting
Yeah.
in a different place than usual.
Oh, I changed it. I changed it all, man.
Cool.
You got to refresh.
I wanted to put more kits on
matter
display,
with you?
so now I got them, down to the sides here. I got the ones on the Display Pro there. Yeah, just changing it up.
Looks awesome. Looks
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
The Display Pro guys will be able to retire if I switch all these to Display Pro. So we'll see. Maybe one at a time. Slowly, all.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah.
After getting them and putting them up, I was like, oh man, this is slick. I'm probably going to move the framed ones out into the rec room and just maybe do a wall of these Display Pro. So we'll see what happens. But I'm having fun with it. Now, I'm going to load up the Azzuri game. They've been playing the Dutch. It's a meaningless game. Third place Nations League. I mean, who really cares? But
It's a
maybe
friendly.
we'll talk a little Azzuri a little bit later, whatnot. Now, Castagne. Got a question right off the bat. Haven't watched
Timmy
any
Chestnuts.
Leicester games this season. How good has Castagne been? So, and then in comes RB Comps. Castagne, what a joke of a sighting. So,
Take it easy.
here we go. Haven't seen Castagne this season. How do we do? So right now, first of all, I'm just going to say this. I'm not buying into the fact that he is just going to be it immediately and that things are getting close. Sky Sport was the one reporting it. Let's just take it easy. But I wouldn't be surprised because we have to be realistic about the situation, where we're at and whatnot. But I feel a certain way about hearing Castagne linked with Juve and whatnot. And number one, the left side is the priority for me. Like, yes, we need
Mm-hmm.
fullbacks and whatnot, but left side is more of a priority. Parisi seems to be very, very close to being finalized. Okay. So that's going to be the way to go. Do that. On the right side, you're going to have Cambiasso coming back that plays left and right side. You
Mm-hmm.
also will have Danilo. We're trying to play a four-back system. Danilo's not going to be playing center back. So I would probably be looking that route. That's just me. I don't see it as a high priority. Castagne standalone, he's not my top pick out of the targets that we've had so far. Let's get your guys' thoughts on it. Omer, why don't you kick us off on your thoughts with Castagne?
So Castagne was actually good at Atalanta. I liked him at Atalanta. Leicester, I think he had his first season was fine. They had a horrible season just as a team this season, and he didn't help in any way. But he's a cheap option. Am I excited? No, not one bit. Not the name I was hoping for, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just I didn't expect Lichtsteiner to be what he was. He was better than what Castagne is right now, but I still didn't expect him to become world class right back from Lazio. So not excited, but still moving forward. Let's see how it plays out. I don't want to judge too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most exciting thing for me on this one is it's a guy named Timmy Chestnuts. Because Lord knows I haven't watched Leicester play. Did they just get relegated? Is that the thing?
Yeah,
Are they
yeah,
getting
they got
relegated? Okay.
relegated.
So the way I look at this is no idea how he played with Leicester, no idea how he's gonna play with Juventus, right? If he comes in. No one really knows. Lichtsteiner is a good example. Not to say that he's gonna be the Swiss Express, but is he gonna be a game wrecker? No. Is that what we're looking for? No. We're just looking to fill some holes here and there. Berto, Omer, you guys have said this whole time, center back is probably a bigger priority at the moment. So role players, we're going to be Parisi, role player. I think that's all we're looking at here. Cheap role player, why not? Let's see what he can do.
I I think the term first team player is not existent anymore for Juve.
Hmm.
I mean, the amount of shifts we saw in the lineup and guys we thought were first team players got more of a bench role in the past season and been on and off. I mean, I don't think any team has like their best starting 11. And I don't think Juve has one as well. So Castagne, first team player, no, but who is actually?
But here's a name that hasn't been thrown around these past couple of weeks. Barbieri. Where does he fit in all this?
I gotta say, Barbieri is kind of, I think he's more of a Frabota than something else from what we've seen so far.
I
He could
thought
be
he's played
fine.
okay.
That's it. He was okay, nothing more. But once again, we have to let it play out. I don't want to judge too
Mm-hmm.
early. He's still a young kid, a lot of room for development.
Yeah, I think Barbieri will just have to wait and see. He's like Cambiasso we tried to bring back mid-season. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, like all these talks, even these doubts about him being in the team next year, I'm not really buying into that. I feel he will be with the team next year. So Barbieri, he's just got to continue to develop. And speaking of which, I mean, we've got other players too. So two good pieces of business was Nonge getting extended and Houston getting extended. So Nonge to 2026, Houston to 2027. This was great business, especially Nonge had a lot of interest, and Houston is being raved about by all the guys checking him out. And he had a ton
Everybody.
of minutes in training sessions with the first team this past season. They continue to say that, hey, he's going to be, there are rumors about him being in the first team next season. I don't actually necessarily see that. And I think we need to pump the brakes there, despite the whole fact about center backs and whatnot. Coney de Winter, I would be interested in probably seeing it come in and get some more minutes and whatnot. He's still not that 1A next to Bremer, in my opinion, but he should definitely be kept around. I think we need to find a solution for Bonucci.
Yeah, he's
but
definitely
they
no
will,
Rugani.
but they will join Juve for the American tour, for the North American tour. That was
Yes.
reported. Him and Yildiz and Nonch,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
will
You
join
got
the
it.
team. So the question is, where will they develop better? Like you said, Barbieri need more time to develop. Is it better for him to be with the first team and get some
Hmm.
minutes here and there, or stay with the U23 or next gen? That's the interesting question for me.
Well, if I'm looking at Houston, okay, and I'll use Houston as the example, I think he needs the minutes right now. Stay at next gen. Training with the first team is great. If opportunities arise throughout the season, through maybe injuries or something like that, he comes in. But I think just for the sake of, if he's going to be able to train with the first team regardless, like he was this past season, then I keep him where he's playing more minutes. And if he's coming just to sit on the bench, then I'm not so sure I do that. Because if he's, unless somebody believes he's ready to go right into that lineup, yeah, I say leave him be.
I
Even
believe
if
it
it
was
does
Mirko.
happen, I don't see it happening before January. I mean, Max will start the season with the guys he know, and he'll start to integrate later, the same as he did this season.
I believe it was Mirko who said the one time when Houston was up in training with the first team, he was astonished at how almost ready this kid is. He didn't say he was ready. He said he's right there. Or it
Yeah.
might have been Romeo. One of the two. Either way, they both love this kid from what they've
Yeah.
seen.
We'll see what happens. Those were two great pieces of business. Obviously, we had the
Hmm.
Kulusevski finalization on the deal, 30 million euros. This had fans on both sides here. Oh, here we
Hmm.
go. Discounted again and not happy with it. And then those that were happy with it. I'm happy with the deal. I'll get into the details of why, but I'm happy with it. And I'm not upset about losing the 5 million on it. It is what it is. I think this is more coming to terms with the circumstances and the situation that Juve finds themselves in and understanding that. Number one, if you have an option to purchase that's set at 35 million euros, I think it's crazy that just for the sake of saying that it's the Premier League and they have all this money, you can't necessarily just say, okay, that's the reason we should have pumped it to 40, 50. Well, no, you already set an option price of 35 million euros. So what are we
Hmm.
talking about here? The other thing to factor in, where's all the other interest? So if you don't want to sell them here at a discount to 30 million euros, where's the other interest coming from? Because there was very little. Very little.
Newcastle? No, was that another player?
I don't even
Anyways,
know.
there wasn't.
There
There
was
wasn't any.
next to nothing. Okay.
Hmm.
So if that's the case, is it better for Juve to take that 5 million hit or walk away completely? We're not in a position to walk away.
No.
That's the reality.
Yeah, yeah, not walk away. I just overall, I'm happy with the deal. Okay, it's fine if he doesn't want to be here. He wants to play for Tottenham. Fine, go to Tottenham. But how dare you ask for a discount? I mean, Napoli made 80 million winning Serie A. The last place team in the Premier League made 120, and you're bargaining over
22.
5 million. I mean, that annoyed me. Where's the nerve to ask for a discount? You guys are splashing money on unknowns. The player clearly wants to play for Tottenham, and where's the pressure from him? But having said that, I understand we need the money now to get things going. So if that's the best we can do, and you are in no position to negotiate, then fine. 30 million is still a lot of money.
I think the
Yeah.
thing that irks me the most is the guy on the other end of the phone is the hose hound who couldn't keep his stupid lips from yappering on the phone and got us in this whole salary maneuver problem in the first place.
Well,
That's
it's
the
not
big
him
problem for me.
anymore.
Well, he's still over there, and I'm just gonna say it's him because he's a hose hound. Anyways, happy Father's Day, everybody. Happy Father's Day, man.
Hey, happy
Everybody out
Father's
there.
Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there,
I'm
all
in a great
right?
mood.
Now, Kulusevski, what do you think on this deal? It is what it
Yeah,
is.
100% agree, man. If there's nothing else out there, like it's 5 million. Like it's not like they came back and said we'll do it for 12.
Yeah.
It's 5 million. It's the way business goes. with a club like that, you sent 2 players over there, right? The potential to have sort of an inroads with a Premier League club, right? You're going to do business like this. You're going to give them a discount in the hopes that it's in good faith, and then you can potentially do business again in the future. Not going to break our bank. Jesus, we have to save what 140 million this summer. Okay, now it's 145. Like, what are we talking about? We're already screwed. So it is what it is.
This is
I have no issue with it.
another thing that's come up a lot, and why I keep pushing for like I see Exor's gonna have to step in. Like, to be honest, there's gonna have to be some type of bond. We're
that's the
facing
most annoying
penalties.
thing.
We're facing penalties any way you slice it. There's going to
Mm-hmm.
be penalties, and even if we had a mercato and a summer that we could clean that amount of money, okay, the 120 to 130, we're still double the allowance on FFP, and there's a hit coming for that. Then you take away the resources of not being in Champions League, etc. Yeah, there's like, I see no way without him stepping in to help clean the
So
slate.
Gotta say, I kind of lost the plot in what considered, justifiable and not. I mean, Inter
Bam.
are in 800 and something debt, and they can still spend and don't have to, raise 140 in order to make it to next season, even though they're in the
No, that's not
Champions League.
true. Their mercado has to be dead even. Like, for them
Yeah,
to
but
have
they're still
any chance,
getting
like, they're
players.
screwed. They're screwed. Anybody that tries to paint a picture that they're not in massive trouble is lying to themselves. And I've seen those fans in our comments too on daily update videos. Not a
Appreciate the
chance.
support.
830 million in debt. So again, they can only, that's why I'm not buying in on the Fratesi thing and whatnot, and Inter coming in, because I'm like, well, they got to sell first. Their mercado has to literally be zero at the end of it. So players brought in and sales need to all match up, line up evenly, and they have to be at zero. It still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter for them. Like, they're going to be screwed. The year that messed Juve up is the year we hit the 250 million deficit, because that's what's screwing us over. This will be third year. We're still expected to have a hit. You can only carry at maximum an average of negative 60 million for deficit. That's the year that's throwing us off. That's killing us. Now, it's still up in the air how that's all going to play out, because the regulations came in like kind of right after or right around that time that we had that massive hit of a year. But nonetheless, no, Inter's screwed.
So,
Man. Inter's
so you got to
screwed.
carry an average of 60 million over your previous 3 seasons.
Over 3 years, yeah, and then it just keeps moving along, and it's got to be that 3-year period.
With what you're asking for an influx of money from Exor, does that doesn't even count towards that average, right? You're just trying to balance the books, or does that lower that average? Applies to money outstanding?
No.
You know what I
So
mean?
what happens with those bonds is you still have to correct things, but what it would do is allow us to take those penalties, kind of clean things up, give these guys a fresh slate moving forward and whatnot, because you're not supposed to, I guess if you take a bond, you could take a bond, but it can't count towards like your income and your revenue, because that's how you're supposed to use FFP and whatnot. It's supposed to be based off your revenue and your actual income. The bonds would not stand towards that, but the bonds would help you out massively in terms of what you're
Right.
going to face and offset the losses, right?
Because then you're not using sales towards
Yeah.
one issue. You're using them towards your average for the next couple of seasons.
Exactly,
Okay,
right?
I
So
got
it
it.
prevents you from having to make moves that you might not want to do, right?
So what's
Because-
the 140? What's the 140? Why do we have to hit 140?
Well, that's just it. I think what their game plan is and where they come up with that number is to make everything zero, because I think all they're doing is looking at the deficit from year to year. We scratched
Right.
we scratched from 254 to 120, 130, and now they're thinking, okay, we got to do 140, we got to make it zero. Well, if you did that, get ready for one hell of a season, and potentially like 3 or 4 hell of a seasons if we were to do that, because there would be way too many cuts. Way too many cuts. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it
Or we
happening.
just sell Dusan for 150 and we're good.
Dusan, man, Dusan. So let's get into this. Castagne being the talk there. We got to go back to Castagne, like, in terms of options, okay? So options and watching him play, like, Omer brought up Lichtsteiner, whatnot. What would today's day and age have said about Lichtsteiner when Juve was looking to sign him and whatnot? What it came. The thing with Castagne for me is this. Going back, it's not the highest priority. Left back's a higher priority. Not only that, I don't put him as high up as some of the other targets. I really don't. Like,
No, and
for
you shouldn't.
me, like, Singo would be higher. And to be honest, if Bayern was coming in for Vlahovic and we got Pavard and a good chunk of money on top of that, I'd probably be better off with that than Castagne. Castagne just doesn't do it for me. Like, there's nothing there. It's like, for me, it's there's not
No,
much to
he's
that.
not. He's not an exciting player. Gotta say it. He's not an exciting signing, and I don't know. What interests me is what happens with Kostic if we do move to a back four, because Castagne was also used to play as a right wing back rather than a right back. I mean, his best season has been at Atalanta as a right wing back. If we are changing, I mean, do they become wingers? Do they become fullbacks? I have no idea what's going to happen with them. And I don't know, Kostic might be on the books as well if there's a good offer coming in.
I'm not
I
so
haven't
sure
seen
where the
anything on
talk of
Kostic.
selling Kostic really
No,
arises.
there weren't any talks, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing about using either one of these guys as fullbacks, I'm not really into. So neither one of them in a four-man defense. No. This team needs to score goals. Okay?
Yes. The
Like-
defense isn't the issue. It's the
like-
other end.
We need to score goals. Illing
Yeah.
Jr., I don't want him all of a sudden having to focus on figuring out how to play that role. I need him up at the front, playing as a winger
Correct.
in either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, and scoring goals and setting up goals and driving into the area. Like, and Kostic, I just need way more from Kostic than just being robotic and hanging down that flank and throwing blind crosses. I need way more. He's capable of way more. And
seen
at
it.
Frankfurt, he did way more. I'm not so sure why it was so linear with us, but we'll see what happens.
No,
but yeah,
he was fine up until what was it, April. Up until the international break, Kostic was fine. Exactly what we expected from him. He fell off when the team fell off, and that's when we lost everyone. Di Maria didn't hit anymore. Dusan, Milik, everyone fell off. Kostic was just another one of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't think it's specifically him who was bad. I think it was the entire team, and he was just just a casualty of what happened to Juve.
yeah.
Okay. Are we
But I
are we
think they will
certain
become wingers. Go ahead.
are we certain we're going to a 4-3-3? Is that how everything's shaping up here?
No, it's just rumors.
Nothing's for certain. Nothing's ever for certain. But
Max isn't for certain.
everything we're hearing is that
88%.
he wants to get into a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. There's also been talks about like this 4-3-1-2 whatever. But yeah, and here we go. What does Kostic lack as a left back? Like, for me, it's just, again,
He's not left back.
it's the focus. It's the focus of taking guys that are supposed to be offensive, whatnot, and now shifting the attention and getting it all focused on defending, because that's where it lacks the most. If I'm talking about Kostic, is the coverage, and I seen it this season when he had to drop back in those roles, whatnot. He just cannot pick up the guys, pick up the runs, loses his man very, very easily. And again, Illing, as talented as he is, that we can all see this season up front, I don't want to all of a sudden have to spend all the time focusing on him learning this position and getting strong defensively. No, we need to focus on our most talented guys, how we get them to do damage on the other side of the pitch. That's for
1-0
me.
nothing already?
Italy. Yeah,
So-
Italy. 1-0 Italy, and I'll tell you who scored in a minute.
Literally just
Um,
popping it on so we can have it on the background. There we go for the update. Now, that's just Kostic and Illing Jr. discussions, whatnot. Illing Jr., by the way, rumors are still surfacing about him potentially being sold. How do you guys feel about selling Illing Jr.?
Awful. Awful.
Yeah, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I know Miretti is going to be probably a topic of conversation later on today. The minutes that they saw, I know Illing didn't see a shit ton of minutes. I don't see us selling him. With the potential of selling Kostic, or even though I've never heard of that so far this offseason, but I think he's too valuable of a piece at the moment. Early 20s, can play, bright spot.
I mean, they're just
I don't see it.
it's contradictory to what the club said they wanted
Correct.
to do.
That's right.
That's the issue. I mean, you want to go with the youth, so the guys you have and proven to be good enough, and you can work with them. Those are the guys that we're looking to sell. We heard about the youth since then. Sula might be sold. Rovella might be a bargaining chip. Ealing might be sold. Dushan, Chiesa. Meanwhile, looking to extend Quadrado, which won't happen. Sandro is still here. Bonucci is still here. I mean, I'm kind of losing the plot on what the actual direction is.
I think those are all just clickbait. And can I get into this for a
Maybe they
second?
could be.
Can I get into this whole
Yeah, go
thing?
ahead.
We lost players last year. Listen, we had this conversation in the group chat the other day. We didn't lose Udoji. We didn't lose Alvarez. I know Joe likes to think that we lost Alvarez to Man City. We didn't. We didn't lose these players. These players chose to not come to Juventus. People just need to wrap their heads around that. We are not a
Yeah,
destination anymore for players.
Yeah,
So,
when we're
stop it.
talking to them, then they're interested. But if someone else comes along, they might change their opinion. So it's not
There
that
we
the
go.
report is a lie. It just was true at the time. But when Man City came calling, it was an easy choice for Alvarez, and here he is, yeah, Champions League winner and the World Cup winner. I mean, he did make the
Yep.
right choice for himself.
Copa America.
Players can be interested in multiple clubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
of
it
course they
doesn't
can.
just because we're listed as, interested and they're interested, it doesn't just mean that it's done. There's a
Yeah.
lot of variables that have to tie in, and we're starting to see variables with the guys we're looking at right now. The whole Parisi thing, Parisi a left back. I would love Parisi coming in. I think that's a
agree.
good move. That's a good move. It's in our wheelhouse right now with the situations that we're facing and stuff. So I like it. Ranocchia is the name being linked as potentially going the other way. The interesting thing is, and I try to say this on the videos, the daily update videos, pay attention to which names are being linked as connected to some of these moves, because Ranocchia is also linked for Fratesi as one of those guys Sassuolo would like if we are going to finalize something with Fratesi. So it's very interesting. De Winter also another name there, and Barnechea for Fratesi. So we have to wait there. I'm pretty sure right now, this is very, very standard of Juve and Mercados and whatnot. You're going to hear it all, and they're going to weigh it out, all of it, all their options. What's going to be better for them? Can they work a deal for Fratesi without Ranocchia so that if they have to throw Ranocchia in for Parisi, they can get that deal done? Should they just go straight for Parisi, and even if they have to send Ranocchia, do it, get the deal done, and then try and deal with Fratesi in another manner? What do you guys think? I like Parisi. I think it's a good move. Ranocchia, man, he's got a lot of high potential and whatnot, but we can't keep all of these young guys. And we have to be realistic. If we're looking at making moves coming in, we're going to have to sacrifice some. I don't like losing Ranocchia, especially outright, but I think we have to do something at that position. So I probably would pull that trigger. What do you guys think
Look,
on that Parisi potential deal? And if we had to send Ranocchia?
look, we are, let's say, overcrowded in midfield with players. I don't see Ranocchia, getting a decent amount of minutes this season, especially if Rovella comes back, if we sign Fortesi or SMS, whoever. The talent pool for left backs in a decent price is much more tinier than the one for midfielders. So if I have to choose, where do I send Ranocchia to get a player in? It will be Parisi, first of all, because left back is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time. And everyone is still up in the air. No one is untouchable. Cambiaso can leave if there's a good offer, or if someone wants him as a bargaining chip. So Parisi for what was it, 10, 12, 15 million? That's low.
Something like
In
that.
today's numbers, that's low. Ranocchia will knock it down to what, 5? That's a good deal, in my opinion. If we have to, use him to take someone for a new position, I would go with left back.
We
All
can't
right.
keep both Parisi and Cambiaso then, in your
We,
opinion, Omer?
no, we can if we kick Sandro out.
See that, and that's where to Al's point is there's a lot of puzzle pieces that have to be in place first. And on
Yeah,
the news this morning,
exactly.
I don't know who put it on the All Juve cast. I believe it was Tutto Sport who reported it that the Rabiot decision is basically holding everything up.
Which I'm not
Let it
buying
go,
into.
man.
I
Yeah,
You
don't
don't
just
think
let
think?
it.
it go.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. Like I think if it came down to it, if there was a match for a deal for Fratesi right now, I don't think they're putting it in limbo on the Rabiot situation. Like I actually don't think they are. I think like they're working. I think Carnevali's playing a little bit of games, and I think he's trying to maximize, as you would, exactly what he's gonna get. I don't think the Inter stuff was actually true, and I think it's him trying to get Juve a little more antsy, to be honest. But I don't. I think ultimately, if they had a finalization for Fratesi or even Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, I think Juve would just be like, "Hey, yeah, that's retracted." And we're already hearing that it's like end of June. So what? We're what
For
That's
there,
it. That's
11
actually
days, 11
interesting.
days away from that being retracted anyways. That's why I think if there was something concrete close to done for Fratesi or Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, they would pull the trigger and just be like, "Yeah, we're moving on." That's
But
what
that's
I think.
interesting. That's interesting because SMS is reportedly worth less now than Fratesi. Fratesi, they want 40 million. SMS
Yeah.
is 30. And his name kept popping up by the same newspaper, but now some more outlets have begun to talk about it. And today, Albanese said that SMS is suddenly a Juve target, a name that emerged because of the tough deal with Fortezi. It doesn't seem like he has too many, suitors for
Nope.
him. It sounds like it's only Juve for now. Maybe someone will swoop in, but for now, SMS seems to me more plausible than Fortezi.
I think so
Just because we
too.
mm,
can't go into a bidding war. We just
I
can't.
think so too. Now the one kicker is Champions League football because Lazio did qualify whatnot, but I'm not so sure that's going to be it for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, and people weren't buying that from me. But I said, listen, they had pre-agreements before. Sergei
they did
Milinkovic-Savic is
November.
prepared to make a big increase in his wage by ditching out and coming over. He'd be getting like 5.5 a season. That's significantly more than he's getting. And if you're asking me at this stage of his career, if he hasn't left Lazio right now, like already, I don't know if Champions League football all of a sudden is going to be the be all end all. He's not
Hmm.
extending there. He's not talking contract talks there. He could be set to take a 5.5 million wage. All right, huge increase for him. And at 28, if he already hasn't left there for ambitions of European football and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to happen now. So I think the money at this stage of his career is probably going to be very, very enticing. That's why I don't
Yeah.
think it's over on Sergei Milinkovic-Savic whatsoever. And I've been telling you guys for a while because my sources and my guys there in Turin have been telling me for a while now, even while he wasn't in the news. Hey, Juve is still pressing and working hard on Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. I don't think it's done and dusted on Sergei Milinkovic-Savic by any means. And Lotito can't play this game and go into the season without a deal, because come January, the winter mercato, holy Christ, what are you going to get now? 10,
because he's
15?
a
Like, what are you
cheapskate.
doing?
He's a cheapskate. He likes money. He's not going to let him go for free. He's not going to take that chance. He's ditching him this summer, whether it's to Juve or any other club, but he's not keeping him and he's not renewing him in any way.
We'll see.
That's coming from Lazio fans, actually. They're saying,
Which player would you guys rather have then?
I've had both. Some tell me there's no chance of that, especially with Champions League coming in, and then there's others that think, you could probably have it done. We can't take zero on him, and they can't run that risk. So,
and he's already been there with the Lazio. They have played in Champions League. They got eliminated against Bayern a couple of seasons ago. It's not like the first time he's there.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Qualified.
Now,
okay, but hang on a sec. Hang on. Okay,
go ahead.
Go finish your thought.
No, because that's going to carry into the Miretti thing. So go ahead.
So yeah, before we get to Fabio, who realistically Juve isn't getting both those guys this summer, Fratesi and SMS. So who would you rather bring in, a 22-year-old Fratesi or 28-year-old SMS? They're essentially the same price.
Okay.
I think Fratesi's overpriced.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like Fratesi. I think it'll be a great addition, but I do think we need to balance the age a bit in the team. We can't have an entire team built of 22-year-olds and below that. I mean, you gotta have some experience, some balls, some leadership in other areas except your defense. And so I would like us to get someone with a bit more experience and play time in Serie A, Champions League, Conference League, whatever.
But if
we do need to balance it out.
Just great.
I like Fratesi. Fratesi.
Yeah,
I think he's
nothing against
him. On a good trajectory. But man, how can you turn down less for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, who has the consistent numbers across Serie A for this many years? Like, how could you, if you had the option between two and one was going to be less? This is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. The chat here seems to be agreeing with you guys that SMS seems to be the guy that they would. But the one thing I would slightly disagree with Omer is our defense that old? If we really only have Danilo back there, Rugani's 28. If we get rid of Bonucci's out, our defense is getting younger.
Oh, no, it's not about how old the defense is, but our leaders are all stationed in defense.
It was super old with Quadrado, okay. Sandro, Bonucci, like that's Danilo, like that's a super old defense.
Yeah. But you're saying the leadership-wise, I got you. Because Locatelli hasn't really...
I said it here a couple of times. I think you need one leader in every area of the pitch, and we're lacking right now. We have
Speak of the devil, Fratesi has just scored for the Azzurri. All right.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
The first one was Di Marco, an absolute blast. And just speak of the devil there, Fratesi scoring and saying, hey, guys, I'm right here. That's okay. I still take Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. But that's hilarious. Just going to watch this right here. Di Marco scored the first one, an absolute rocket. He hits... Nonto takes a shot. Oh, man. Just a lucky bounce. They're going to check it for offside. Nonto's shot gets deflected. Fratesi was standing behind all defenders, chest down, and just taps it home. We'll see. But let's keep it moving here. Clickbait title from Aldo. So Miretti. And the reason I want to go with selling Miretti is because this one has been talked about a lot for Juventini as the rumors surface that... it was only starting off as a loan between Genoa and Juve, or potentially Salernitana and Juventus. And then all of a sudden, it all came down to a sale. And Salernitana coming in. They want to buy Hans Nicolucci Caviglia for $8 million. They want to buy Miretti for 15. Well,
Not
I don't know if they
happening.
want to spend 15, whatever, but 15 million is the rumor. My gut reaction is no. I feel it's completely premature to pull that trigger. Now everybody's trying to bring back these buyback clauses and utilize that 25 to 30 million euros. For me, that's counterproductive as well.
Hmm.
We are waiting to see if there is in fact a player there that we can use in the future, and I think we can all agree the tools are there when you watch him play. Vision, technical ability and everything, like it's all there. The reading of the game, getting into the right positions and spots. I think, a loan goes a long way. Now the thing is, people are saying, well, the buyback clause gives teams incentive to develop that talent. Well, that's why you have to laugh when it comes to this whole case. All these cases come up and about, and they talk about business relationships and whatnot. That's where it really ties into business relationships. But I don't like the buyback clause. I think it's counterproductive on a guy that you are sending out to do that. A loan is fine. A loan
Why
is
would we
fine.
put why
You
the
want
buyback clause is ridiculous? We already own him. Why would we want to send him out and then buy him back?
And like I said, the talks are about the incentive
Doesn't
for the
make
team that
sense.
takes him to develop him. For me, if that player performs, look at how many players you have as evidence that have gone out on loan that do their gig.
Exactly.
Like, the other thing too is the drive out of the player. We'll learn so much from Miretti. You don't have to
Hmm.
insert a buyback clause to figure that out. Like, you don't. I get it. It's more incentive for certain teams, maybe to even take that on or whatnot. But I think ultimately, if a player goes there and he's performing and he's doing well and he's helping them, at the end of the day, it's all about results for all these
Hmm.
teams. Like, if a
Exactly.
team's going to go to one of these teams and help them stay above relegation or try to be on the verge of European play, whatever their expectations are, it's going to happen regardless of a buyback clause being in there. That's how I
Yeah.
feel, anyways. But I would
Yeah. The
not
one.
sell Miretti.
Yeah. The one thing with Miretti was I know like I made a lot of comments this year. The guy's got to eat some more panini. He's still he. Once a player hits 23, that's when they're in essentially a man's body. He's only 19, 20. Like he still has some filling out to do. You can see Fajoli, right? He's starting to fill out, right? He can handle playing against men. Medetti again, only 19. Like I think we would all agree he needs a loan. I'm
Yeah.
with you, Berto. I would not sell this kid at all because the one thing that I still go back to with this kid is he is always in the right spots. He may not do the right thing when he's in those spots, but that's the hardest thing is to figure out where to go in the system. Attacking wise, he was always, always, always in the right spot. Didn't
Yeah.
execute well sometimes, but you know,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think he
this kid's got a higher
needs.
ceiling people give him credit for.
I think he needs a lot more minutes and
Hmm.
consistent minutes in a consistent position.
Yes.
15 million is just, I don't know. It's symbolic to ask that. If they can ask 40 for Fratesi, we can ask for at least 30 for Miretti. I mean, the valuations are ludicrous as it is. Why not take advantage of that? I wouldn't sell him for 15, no way. I do get that we might need the money, and maybe selling him for 30, 25 can keep us from selling someone else. He's not untouchable for me, but the price should be much higher than 50,
Yeah.
at
So
least double.
this is a comment that comes up a lot when
Really?
loans of players are talked about, and I simply disagree. I think it totally has to do with situations and scenarios and whatnot. So for Moretti, how can it be a step back if he's going to go somewhere and potentially be the one of the main guys? Because he's not one of the main guys for Juventus. So how can we call it a step back if he's going to go somewhere and be a main piece, a main key
Hmm.
cog? That's not a step back. Was it a step back when we did the same with Fagioli? No.
Fagioli, Marquisio.
Marquise, like these guys excelled and got themselves where they needed to be. And ultimately, we can't keep a guy around he needs a loan. We can all watch and agree like, okay, he needs to go get comfortable, get his confidence up in this league And the expectations are high at Juventus. You throw in the mix what happened with us this season with all the bullshit, that adds to it too. It's a lot to take. And I think as far as selling Miretti, okay, I can't help but remember he outplayed Fagioli at the start of the year by a mile, by a long shot. And then at some point they switched and Fagioli hit the ground running and didn't really look back other than a little spell close to the end there. But that's the way it's been going. So Miretti's right there. He's right there on par. Fagioli needed a loan. I think Miretti needs one too. And I think selling him is a bit premature, especially, here's the one kicker for me. You have so many other young bargaining chips and guys that I'd be comfortable moving before Miretti. And we talked about Ranocchia being one of them, etc. Like, there's players that, you know, we can do that. We can do that with them rather than Miretti. That's not slandering Fagioli, Alex. That's calling it the way it was. At the start, Miretti was well ahead. Well ahead.
More.
I love Fagioli.
Played a lot more, but that's probably due to training. But I don't know, man. We will have to give up someone. I mean, we have to bite the bullet on someone. If we, by some miracle, we get to keep Dusan and Chiesa, we will lose someone else that we don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, teams are not stupid. They know who we want and who we don't want. They know we would gladly give Ranocchia in a deal for someone else. We wouldn't be so trigger happy with Miretti. And they know that. That's what they want him.
The Sharks are going to start circling soon, beginning of July. It's going to be a lot of movement before. I think Juve is going to want to get this team somewhat settled before they.
They've been circling since 1897.
It's true. I'm just saying. I think Allegri, which I still don't think he's going to be the coach next year. I think there's still a 12% chance that he leaves.
What?
But yeah,
we got to get into this. What makes you think that?
Because I don't think our sporting director is finalized yet.
Oh, I think he is. I think it's Gintoli all the way.
But he's not. I'm saying he's not here. He's not here yet.
He learned about Rudy Garcia from Twitter. The guy's out.
But that doesn't surprise me because he hasn't been working on Napoli's mercato. Like, he's literally at home. Like, he's not working for them right now. So it was no real surprise per se. He's locked in. Everything I'm getting out of Turin is he's locked in. Okay? He's locked in.
Yeah, and De Laurentiis did the same with Sarri to Chelsea. And the report is he's going to keep him away from Juve until August, where he can no longer strengthen Juve for the next season. Yeah. Because he's an asshole. That's who De Laurentiis is. I'm not shocked or surprised by it anyway.
He's locked in, okay? And it's just a matter of when he actually comes over. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's been in contacts with Manna and obviously Calvo and whatnot about what's going down. I wouldn't be surprised.
God, I hope you're not talking on the phone. Please do not talk on the phone.
It's all good. Giuntoli's not an idiot like Baratici.
Oh my God.
Now,
De Laurentiis shooting
Allegri. So, Anth still thinks there's a shot. I don't think so. I think I think that time has passed, and obviously everything I was getting there was that the past week was when we were going to know early this past week, and the meetings went down, and they were literally mercato related. So if he was going to go, it would have been dealt with by now.
Hey, you're the one who has to buy 10 jerseys. I'm doing this for you.
10 kits. They're coming up. They're coming up. 10 kit giveaway. I was positive at I can't remember what point it was in the season that I just didn't see a return. Not from just the club's point of view, but even Max's. Hey, I'll pay up. I'll pay up.
Just erase the AliExpress on the.
Listen, everybody. Listen, it's not going to be 10 kits at once. All right, the guy's got a family to feed, so relax, you jackals.
Take it easy. Anyways, we'll do the giveaway. I don't think there's any outfit out there that does as many giveaways as we had. Like there's been
Yeah.
since we started, I think we're at
36.
36 kits that have been a giveaway, and there's giveaways that have been done on top of that too. We are gonna do a giveaway with Display Pro for some of these displays as well, and then we have a fun giveaway. As we're gonna have a show lined up pretty soon with the official fan club. Some of the presidents, they're great. We're gonna have one with Fandom Culture. Okay, so fandomculture.ca. They put together awesome like sets of authentic like official Juve products, and they put them in these boxes. They're just like sick. So we'll do some fun stuff like that too. Now, let's get into some more here. Zakaria. So the whole thing with Kulusevski, while some people were saying that the moves, they didn't like the deal, sacrificing, discounting again, whatnot. Look, Zakaria, McKennie, Arthur, next on deck. Finding solutions. That's one of the biggest things with the Kulusevski move. We have to find solutions. The rumor yesterday of Zakaria being included for Lazio, I have no idea if they have any interest, but it is free to dream. Jesus, would that ever be a sweet coup for Juve? But we have to find solutions for these guys. So far in the mercato, I'm happy about what I'm hearing. And we started talking about this a lot in the team WhatsApp and whatnot with some members here from YouTube and whatnot. I don't think the mercato's as difficult to manage as it might seem. You guys getting the feel? Like, I actually feel we can find solutions for all these guys. I really, really do feel that way. What do you guys think?
Omer?
Yeah, the more the days go by, I feel like we have no idea what Juve financial situation actually is.
Agreed.
And it has to be like a snowball. One sale leads to one purchase, one new player. I think that's the way they're going to work it out, at least from the reports. But Zakaria to Lazio for SMS tomorrow. Do that deal tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Zakaria. I actually like him. He's just too injury prone, too really bad season where barely played. Starting from scratch with him, I don't know if it works out for you.
And there's mixed
I don't know.
reports with Zakaria, like that he could also remain
Yeah.
and that there's some that still believe in him.
Right.
Yeah, and Arthur has suitors in the EPL, and Galatasaray want McKennie for some reason. Maybe in a potential deal with Zaniolo. I mean, there are avenues Juve can work out
Yeah,
if the reports
Zaniolo.
are to be believed. I mean, McKennie for Zaniolo, once again, tomorrow.
Yeah. So the one positive I'm taking away so far from these 3 weeks is that nothing that's being reported is far fetched or unreasonable or out of line with the overall project. You can sort of see where. So if this is Mana doing all this, or Gintoli with, so I see some people here with the cans and the strings, whoever it is, they seem to be progressing in a manner that's both fiscally responsible and addressing the needs of the team, both of incoming players that have to go out and incoming players that are going to stay. Center back is probably the one that I think, Berto, you're going to say is still, we still need to fill in. But
I
for
actually don't
me,
think
so
so.
far, so good.
Yeah.
I actually don't think so. I don't think center back is a priority. If we are moving to a back four, I'm fine with who we have right now.
Would Gatti be
Bremer.
your main next to Bremer?
Got to.
Yeah, I have no problem. Gotti has been good for the later part of the season. He's trending up. He's getting better and better. The confidence is growing. I have no issues with going with him. The only question is Bonucci and what happens with him.
Yeah.
And if he does leave, we still have Hoysen, the Winter. Maybe we can count on him to play there. I mean, we have options. It's not like our left wing, which is dead.
I think De Winter should come in next season.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
He can play multiple positions across the back, three-man
Yeah.
back line, four-man back line. He's an interesting
Last
prospect.
summer-
I don't think he'll stay.
Last summer, he
I
played
think
right
he won't be
back, I
sold.
believe, in a friendly. De Winter
Who?
did.
De
De
Winter?
Winter, he
Yeah,
or
last
it was
season he played.
so. For me again, so far so good. Just stay the path. And I think, but Zaniolo's another one. That's something that we haven't talked about. I'm not sure if that was on your to-do
Yeah,
list
we
this
can get
morning.
into Zaniolo. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to buy him outright. I think with McKennie going the other way, that solves one problem, or Artur going the other way. Again, that's another good thing to say is it sounds like we have solutions for players coming back. Where last summer, we had Artur coming back, or we had him, and we're like, where the hell are we going to send this guy? And luckily, we had Liverpool. I don't know why they
Yeah.
took him, but anywho, Zaniolo. I think that's going to be the solution if Dusan leaves. And we got to get that sorted out pretty quick.
See Dusan, so you see Zaniolo as the solution there. I feel like Zaniolo is a two-part solution, and I feel like it may not happen if one of these other midfielders gets locked up, like Fratesi or even Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, if they pull that deal. And this is why I say I think everything kind of ties in. Zaniolo's big thing too is his versatility. The fact that he could play as a Mezzala, he could play as your attacking midfielder, he could play as your winger, he could play as your false nine, whatever. And obviously, it's up to everybody's interpretation of how they feel he is in those particular positions, whatnot. But the versatility's there. But it all kind of stems from, I think, like what move they pull in what sequence dictates everything else. Zaniolo, for me, I see him as, helping in the middle and helping up front. And Di Maria's set to leave. With Vlahovic, I don't think he's the direct, but I think he could also help there. But Vlahovic, is he leaving? To be honest, everything's up in the air on Vlahovic and Chiesa. It's going to come down. So this is not from the club. The club wants nothing to do with a sale in terms of Chiesa. Okay? That's
Mirko
everything
said that the
I
other day.
keep getting. I keep getting this from everybody. My sources, Mirko Di Natale, I keep getting the same when it comes to Chiesa. They don't want to move him. Okay?
Untouchable.
What it comes down to with Chiesa is if he wants to be moved, which has always been the question and the fear amongst the fan base after those words, after the, was it Udinese? After the final match of the season? Yeah. We got to wait for him to come back from international duty, and then we'll find out a lot more. We'll start to know a lot more. Vlahovic, again, how's everybody feeling on Vlahovic? Like, don't you think a request would have been turned in by now?
Not entirely. I mean, he's on vacation. Maybe he'll deal with that when he comes back. But having said that, if we do sell him, I'm not comfortable with going into the season with Milik and Keane.
Yeah.
I'm missing someone there. I mean, if we do sign Nonto or Zaniolo, whoever it will be, still, we need a better striker, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe Keane will finally hit things running, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it?
Morata.
I'm just saying.
Morata
Oh,
return.
not again, man.
Right there.
Third
I'm just saying.
time,
I don't know what
mean,
option we could choose.
What did he,
I don't know
did
how
he
many
play
options
with
are out there, but-
Caceres and just learn that that's the way to do it? Caceres
Oh,
is role
man,
model.
Morata. Well, you're not alone, Anth. You're not alone. The dad there wanting more Morata. I don't know there, but yeah, I agree with Omer. You gotta have somebody else there.
Fully agree.
But
I'm not saying Morata's a guy, but
the Morata thing, I don't really. Returns haven't all been that great for us.
nope.
No. But there's somebody out there still believing, so we'll see. Everybody get the likes up. Let's get those likes up, okay? And now we're going to get to some Storm the Barn. If you guys have questions, fire away. We're going to ask, first I'm going to go to you guys. Do you guys have anything we didn't tackle you want to get into as far as discussion points?
I did have something.
Okay.
Quick one. Is Bonucci on the roster next season?
Yes.
Hopefully no.
I think he is. I think he is. He was talking about retirement from international duty. I was thinking, we're all thinking, I believe. I think it's from all phases,
I
not
know.
just internationally, buddy.
I know there's
He
some
can't be
AJC army
trusted,
that
can he? Like, I can't trust him against anybody based
I
off
know
last year.
there's some AGC army that thinks I should retire too, but it is what it is. Hoyland from Atalanta. That was sort of a topic there for a bit, then it just died away.
The most interesting one so far from who we've been linked to, but I only seen one report, is the one Tal is mentioning here, the kid from Metz. I think Wally is his name. He had a phenomenal season. He's 21. Yeah, that guy. He could be an interesting
French
prospect.
B League.
Excuse me?
French B League? Like we don't even know what it's called. We call it the French B League.
I don't think he played in the B League. League something. League Stein.
League B?
League B. Wait.
Ultra is a good book.
League French.
League 2?
No idea.
Orsolini, I like.
He just put it on there.
Would be good. There's not enough talks
Omer, he
around
put in the chat.
Orsolini. Taram is on a free, but Taram's got he's got some interest from some clubs in Europe, and that's what he wants to do. European footballs. We'll see. I would love.
He's battling it out.
Taram.
He's battling it out with Milan and Paris Saint-Germain. I don't think we're in the race.
I would love Taram, but it's not going to happen. So Siraj asking, is Allegri staying 100%? Nothing is 100% ever.
Nothing's
but
100%.
High percentages that he's staying. Earlier this past week was what I was getting was going to be the time we would know for sure whether he stays or goes. It appears he's going to be staying. It would take a lot to change, in my personal opinion, from everything I'm getting. The sources, the guys in Turin are still shocked. Like, they're actually still surprised. They're like, would have never guessed it based on everything that we're hearing. But they said, from what they gather, Calvo could not swing enough of the heads involved to make that move and pull that trigger. But they don't know, obviously, was it financial? Was it performance? Like, who knows, right? But all it came down to is Calvo did want a separation there. He could not turn the heads. And it did not come from Elkan. This was a group decision. So that's all they gave me on the Allegri scenario to this point. So is what it is.
Well, that's a good question from Vidad in here.
We're going to fire away, storm the barn, keep them coming, everybody. Let's go. How many matches will Allegri need to piss everybody up and potentially cause a riot from Tifosi? He's going to have a very short leash. I think, obviously from the fan base, but I actually think he's going to have a short leash from the club, given the circumstances, the fact it went to vote, the fact that Calvo apparently pushed quite hard for it. I think he's going to have a very, very short leash from the club.
He cannot drop points in 2 consecutive games. If he drops points in 3 consecutive games, they better fire his ass.
Man,
I'm not saying losses, but like 2 draws and a win or something. If he or 2 draws,
I don't think we can have a month of April ever again. Like this past April, like you get a month like that.
Yeah.
See you later. I think the leash is going to be short, and they'll probably pull the trigger, and they're all people waiting. And it 1,000% is not Montblanc. Okay, no.
I'm throwing my TV out the window in the first game. That's my call.
Come on.
You say short leash, I say no leash. I mean, I can't watch it anymore. It's so hard.
You'll watch it and you'll like it.
Of course,
but you will watch it.
Of course, I'm talking shit that I will watch it.
There's 2 things you can do about this: nothing and like it. All right, that's the new motto.
Eat this shit soup and like it.
I won't like it. I'll keep being salty on the Twitter timeline, but I will watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking shit. I'm not doing anything. It's like those players who promise they'll run naked if they win the Scudetto from Naples to Turin. Yeah, right.
Oh, speaking of the Scudetto winners, Rudy Garcia So we talked about the Rudy Garcia side there. Obviously, what's his face? Juntoli, hearing about it on Twitter and stuff. But I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that for them. The
Oh,
Korean
I hate
Monster
that
should be
guy.
set to leave. These guys were talking dynasty all year, and Spalletti gone. Kim and Jay probably going to be gone too. Wouldn't be surprised if there's an Osman sale. I love it. I absolutely love it. Rudy
But hang on.
Garcia, after their dreams about Italiano and all this, and Enrique and whatnot, to end up with Rudy Garcia, love it. Love
Hang on.
it.
Based on what's happening with Milan and Inter's going to have a fire sale and Juventus, it is what it is. Wouldn't Napoli still be the preseason favorites going into next season?
Depends who stays and who goes. I mean, you're losing
I-
both Kim and Jay and Osimhen
If Osimhen
and
stays,
and Zielinski, who's out of contract too. I don't think they renewed him. I don't know. A lot can happen. Rudy Garcia is not the manager, but we did get stung by him. He did coach Lyon in our sorry season. He was the one who knocked us out of the Champions League. But I remember his Roma days. He was a big crybaby, just complaining most of the time, which fits right in for Napoli.
Yeah. I love it.
Whatever.
I
I'm not gonna watch it
absolutely
anyways.
love the Rudy Garcia signing.
Yeah.
Give me more. Give me more. Oh, good old Joe La Rosa, who just
There he
cannot take any criticism of Max Allegri ever, and he comes in all the daily update videos anytime Allegri is discussed. I
Appreciate
have
the
one
support,
question
though, Joe.
for you. Can you please list off the trophies he's won these past 2 years? Let's not talk about the past, because you don't move ahead looking in the past. That's in the rear view. All right.
Let me jump in here. I'll jump in here because I see those comments fly back and forth. Now, there's no denying that I was the last one on this panel on the Max train this season. I was the last one supporting him. I was too.
I bailed out just before you, probably like 2 weeks.
We were there. We were right there. In any sort of sporting scenario, it's what have you done for me lately? Max, wonderful stuff you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever the hell it was. You know, for me, he would be in the Juventus Hall of Fame. Not a legend, you know, I like to use the Hall of Fame. He'll have his own little thing in there. The fact of the matter is that he had 2 years to build this team, right? And I don't want to hear the points penalty. With or without it, there was no progress on the field with the team as a whole. We haven't seen the Chiesa that we saw 2 years ago under Max. I think Chiesa has regressed. The only player that has progressed is Rabiot. And that is nothing to hang your hat on. That's one player. So I would just say and all those records, we were 2 losses away from having the worst losing season amount of losses in our history. And we just ran out of games. I think we would have, if we had 3 more games, we were losing 2 of them. Like there's just not enough here to say, I just don't see.
It's
without
a lot.
saying,
It's
look,
a lot.
hang on.
It's
without
it's
saying
much
what he did
simpler
in the past, there
It's
is
much
nothing to
simpler.
say.
than we're
Hang
making
on.
it.
Without going back to the trophies that he won in the past, I still have not heard an argument for what he's done these past 2 seasons
Yeah,
to say keep him.
that's
Don't
exactly
give
it.
me what he did in the past. What has he done these 2 years to convince you? Oh yeah, he's the guy.
I heard excuses. I didn't hear good reasons.
This is what bothers me the most. And Joe, you want to step up? Step up on the show. I welcome you to come onto the
will
show
welcome him.
and debate the Max thing with any of us.
I think it'd be great.
Because this is what it comes down to, okay? The main argument I hear from anybody out there talking about Max is the roster and the roster not being strong enough for him. It is not going to change. It is not all of a sudden by next season going to be the second coming of the Galacticos. So if that is your defense to keep him, it is also a main argument to see him out the door. That's my biggest
his
thing.
roster,
It's that
though.
simple.
But that's his roster.
Sure, but if
and-
it's not
and
good
the-
enough for him this year and this roster's not good, it's not going to make leaps and bounds going into next year. That's my
Yeah.
point. And not the year after that. We're looking at shifting business completely differently than what we've been doing over these past few years, which is these big splashes, a ton of patchwork and whatnot. We're starting to bank on having to hit on less expensive guys. There's a lot of
And
risk
youngsters.
involved in doing that. So if you're doubting Max and your main defense of him is this roster, that's also one of the main proponents to maybe say goodbye. That's all I'm saying. It's that simple.
100 lineups in 100 games.
Yeah. And with that logic, I mean, we are fans. That's what fans do. We talk about a
Correct.
team and give our opinions. We don't manage Juve. That's the luxury we have of sitting here. We're not the official Juventus podcast. I mean,
Should
if
be,
you want
though.
to throw in your opinions, Al invited you. You're welcome. We welcome everybody. We welcome all opinions. But don't tell us that this is comedy just because you don't agree with us. We welcome your opinion. We would love having you here, talking to you, and you can give us all the reasons as to why we should keep Max. We're not playing down what he's done in the past, but
Yeah.
No, not at
that's
all.
what every podcast for every football team does everywhere.
It's
We're nothing
hilarious
special.
to me because
Great comedy.
anytime you bring up the fact that he should go with those that protect Allegri, they call it blind hate. There's also blindly defending what's clearly
both.
in front of you and has been evident for not 1 but 2 years.
Like Lou and Rabiot. Like Rabiot was potentially our best player this year, and Lou couldn't handle it. 'Cause he
Exactly.
had an agenda. That's
And
fine.
but at least he calls it for what it is,
Correct.
right? This Max thing, to label this as an agenda is funny because you and I, Anth, were backing him throughout all this crap for a while.
Yeah, even through like
After the
fall
Monza
there
thing,
when-
I said, okay, you could probably make the change now. Like, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Second year, awful start. But when the turnaround came, I said, props to him. I didn't think he had it in him.
Now we will say you and I have said that Max was the right manager for all. He managed the team well through all the points deduction. He does deserve a lot of credit for that. He
Yeah.
kept the ship nice and steady through all of that. But as a coach, he's just with all these young guys coming up. He has no track record of developing any young players, and that's a scary thing. Is that we're going to have a very young team coming in here, and great manager, a people manager, or a club manager, but just the coaching and the style just isn't there.
So Aldo says, guys, there's a difference between pointing out the reality and being even on your judgment and refusing to see any of the positives. Just saying, balance strips. Nobody has taken away the positives. Nobody's taken away the positives.
Great manager.
What are the positives? Like, I'm challenging all the positives. What are the positives?
On the
Because
field.
if the positives are only the scenario that should really never happen amongst a football season, and you take away that, the points penalty and whatnot, we were doing just as shit before that point penalty as where we finished after. You want to talk about results? Getting one more point from the year prior. Sul Campo on the pitch, one more point than the year prior. Yeah, you moved up in the standings, but that's because of what else happened in Serie A and these other teams. No, like that's
Inter
not,
lost
that's
11
not
games this year.
it.
Let's just get serious.
It's
Inter was not
it
good.
for me. It's not it for me. But those of you that believe that, whatever, for me, it's a Band-Aid. For me, this point penalty thing, whatever, masked just how bad Allegri 2.0 in that second year could have been. But whatever. We're going to find out because it all appears he's coming back for a third year, and I'm done with the excuses. I'm done with these arguments because Allegri continues to just divide this fan base. And for me, I'm done with it. I don't want to hear it. Results? I want results. And settling for 1 point more in a second season, not going to have it. Talking about injuries, but then those players come back, he can't find a way to make them all jive anyways. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. I would be happy to sit here by the end of next season and tell everyone I was wrong. We should have kept Max.
Agreed.
He did fantastic.
Hundred percent.
It's not about Max. It's about Juventus. It always has been. If Juventus doing great, I don't care who the manager is. Doesn't
I
matter
know.
if it's Sergei Cosmi or Allegri. Just Juve doing
No
great,
idea
and
who
I
that
will
is.
give
And
Max.
no Rudy Garcia. But I don't care who it is.
No, really, just-
Okay? I don't care who it is. That's what it comes down to. And I'll be more than happy to say I was wrong on Max if
Correct.
he brings us to some glory next season in terms of trophies. Hey,
Not gonna happen.
whoa. You don't see it. What? Not a trophy? Not Coppa Italia even?
0 trophies next year.
I mean, we should be the front runners for the Conference League.
Yeah, Conference League. I mean, if we can make that run in Europa
You will
League,
play in Conference League. You will. That's what UEFA's gonna say. You idiots.
Yeah,
You will play in
Yeah,
that
they
league,
didn't
and
kick
you
us out.
will bring us ratings to that stupid tournament. Yeah.
Oh man, Jerry B. Nasty's agreeing with Anth. Not going to happen. Wow.
I think it's the first time me and Jerry agreed.
If in the
good
third year, not a single trophy? Come on. No. Coppa Italia, some Conference League. They'll probably make us play in Conference League rather than inflict a penalty. I don't know. We'll see.
They're
what
gonna make us
happens,
eat that
but,
shit soup. 100%.
I actually prefer they kick us out. I don't want to play those. Yeah,
I don't
wanna play
know.
those
I don't know what's
Thursday
going to happen,
matches.
everybody. Okay. Ant still thinks that there's a shot at him not. I don't see it. I think it's happening. But hey, I think he's staying. 10 kits. We will give away. Max Allegri remains coach, which all signs are indicating to that. In terms of what's going to happen with the season, hey, this last little segment here with Max Allegri just shows you what he's doing to this fan base. It's absolutely wild, okay? He's always done this. He's always created this crazy divide ever since around 2018. Really after Cardiff is when it started to come. 2019 really intensified. And with his return, those feelings all came back. As far as the team goes, the mercato, we all seem to agree. We like what we're hearing. We like the moves that are coming. They're all realistic. They're all logical too from some point of view. So just let's wait and see. Got some good pieces of business done this week. Let's keep it moving. Let's wait till we see the actual squad before even setting expectations. And we're talking about winning a trophy or going trophyless. Let's see what he gets for a roster for the players. But for me, if everybody was complaining last year about the roster not being good enough for him, I have a feeling you're going to say the same this year. So then what has to give?
Yeah.
Because we can't go into year in, year out just using that as a failsafe and being like, well, this roster's not good enough for Max. Well, is it good enough for somebody else? That's my point. Because we can't keep doing that, everybody. But let's wait till the mercado wraps up. Let's see what the roster looks like, and then we go from there.
And maybe the flip side of it is just look at what Mourinho created at Roma. Although they are not playing great, they're playing defensive, they're not scoring a lot. He did create some sort of a unit there, and the fans like him. Despite the result, despite losing trophies, no matter what he does, all the injuries, everything, all the excuses, he created this us against the world mentality there, and the fans are totally into it.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting that from Max.
You're not wrong, Mark. There was a lot of execution problems this year.
Agreed. Fully agreed.
Okay? Absolutely. However, there was a lot of approach issues. A lot. And
I mean,
ultimately, managers are graded on results. I don't
players
This team
who
had
left-
no ideas.
I don't think
this team
we
had
can
no ideas in the
call-
final third.
I
Not
don't
a
think we
single
can
one.
call our season this last year results. And I will always go back to this for everybody that's on the Pro Max thing, whatnot. And I'd love to hear any of you come on the show and we'll hash it out.
Absolutely.
If you believe that Max Allegri came in to Juventus to not win a trophy in his first 2 years, a trophy, okay?
Any
Any
Participation
trophy in the first 2 years, and that was expected or going to be tolerated, like I think you're grossly mistaken. He was signed with the intention of winning domestically.
Mm-hmm.
And we do need to read the room. Some of the players that left were pretty vocal about why they left, and we have players wanting to leave now. Reportedly want to leave. I mean, it paints a picture. There is a problem with his approach, and players don't tend to like it that much. Kulusevski talked about it. Zakaria talked about it. The
Yeah.
league talked about it. I mean, the signs are there.
Yeah. Now, credit that he managed to bring 3 youngsters to the first team. Okay. Let's give him credit for that. Do we believe Illing Jr. could have played more this past season?
100%.
Yes.
Way more. Did we have a problem scoring goals? Yeah. Is Illing Jr. an offensive threat? Yeah.
Yep.
Could he maybe have done a bit better there? Just a question. I'm not going to answer, just a question. Miretti cycled from Mezzala to trequartista to Mezzala again. Struggled throughout the entire year, trying to find rhythm, whatever. Maybe that's just on him. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Fagioli came in because of injury. The second McKennie was available and healthy again. Took his spot despite providing absolutely nothing. I'm just saying, there's still question marks even in that. How much of this is just Max? And I have no problem with what Max did with the young guys. I thought there could have been more, especially when you look at Illing Jr. and you look at a team that struggles to score and create. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all to blame on Max? No. But I think if you're clearly defending, saying that there's no criticisms he should face, is completely wrong and false.
Yeah,
so
that's a problem.
Both sides have their arguments, but hey.
I feel like we're just, going backwards because one of the reports after the meeting was that Max is going with the same mentality of keeping it simple on the pitch. And that's going into matches losing right from the get go because teams are not going the easy way. They are working day and night to be better, to be better than teams like Juve on attacking scenarios, defensive scenarios, whatever. If you're just keeping it simple, you're playing right into their hands because you're not going to compete with their way of playing if they are working on being better than you. Max needs to start working hard with the team. They're obviously not prepared, not physically, not mentally. The issues are there. If Max is staying, fine, it is what it is. But something has to change.
Yeah.
That's a good point. This team, I remember in the first 2 months, this team was exhausted at the 55th minute. Remember those days? 60th minute, we would do these post games, and we were like, the team looked completely drained by the 60th minute.
Yeah.
Just not physically up to what their competition was doing.
It's very easy to criticize, Mark says. It's extremely easy to criticize when there's zero progress made. Okay? And this whole discussion, not once have we talked about style of play, because everybody seems to use this as this thing against the fans who have kind of come to their wits' end with Max, saying, oh, style of play doesn't matter. Whatever. Nobody's even said anything about style of play. But it is very easy to criticize without any progress. And I see very, very little of it. In this, credit that Allegri was last man standing for Juventus club. Sure. But that's not, like, he reportedly
He wanted to leave.
When all that went down. Nobody knows if it's true. I don't know if it's true. We don't know. I didn't see it really from any of some of the big guys. I don't know. Okay. But whose fault is that? Like, credit to him for doing that. But does that make him ultimately safe, irregardless of the results and lack of progress?
Yeah, that's where it's not connecting for me. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Listen, we said this. I will say it again. Great manager. He held the team together in a very difficult time. At the end of the day, it comes down to results and the product on the field. Defensively, some people are making the comments here about defensively. Awesome. Amazing. We only lost 1-0. a bunch of times. Here's the stat that I love bringing up. When we went down this season, 1-0. Anybody know how many wins we had? One.
Yeah.
This team. So all the people who want to support Max, when we go down 1-0, where are his ideas? We went 1 win, 4 draws, and like 17 losses when we went down 1-0.
Yeah.
But sure, let's keep him for another season, because when we go down 1-0, I'm going to track all these next year. It took a lot of work to bring these up. I'll track all those next season.
And it always comes down to this: 3rd place in Serie A. That is not an achievement. That's not an achievement. That's not something to hang off the rafters. It is not.
Bronze medal. Yay.
15 points is a Band-Aid. It's masking you from the fact that there's no progress. That's my opinion. You can have your own. 3rd place is not something to write home about. When you ask me, that roster could easily have competed for a title. Look at the teams we dropped points to throughout that year. And you're telling me that we should be happy with 3rd place. I am not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it, Mark. I'm sorry. Now, it is what it is. Again, this session right here, this is where I wrap it up on Max Allegri.
Let's wrap this up.
Period. Moving forward, 0 excuses. It is what it is. He's our coach. I expect results. But let's wait till after Mercato. Everybody, it always gets us fired up. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Okay? All right. It is Father's Day. The Azzuri still up 2-0. Just started second half. Go enjoy the second half, whatnot. The final will be on later on today. Do whatever you got to do. Wrap up your weekends. I'm going to keep you up to date with the daily update videos. Hey, we hashed it out here.
And
I'm done with Max. We'll see what happens.
And we do love you all and enjoy the conversation and talks. It's nothing personal against anyone. Bring in more of those type of opinions so we can have a discussion. You guys are all great.
Absolutely. It's never, ever anything personal. I appreciate it. And like I said today, I will gladly welcome anybody to come up and share their opinions. The big thing that I said, and I got to this discussion with quite a few today, this past week, and even this morning, we appreciate and we love it. We want to cover all angles. And if sometimes our panel all agrees on something and you feel like it was too one-sided, you're more than welcome to come on the show and hash it out. All right?
100%.
We love it. One way or another, disagreeing or agreeing, we appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. All right? I'll keep you in the loop on all the daily news update videos. We got a lot of giveaways. And hey, the Pro Max out there, you guys are going to get 10 kits given away. So don't worry about what we say in our opinions. Be happy, because you're going to have a really strong shot at winning a new kit of your choice out of the ones coming out this season. So at least there's that. Everybody,
I want
you guys,
kits.
Fantastic. Hey, Aldo, you're on, buddy. You're on. We're going to make
He's got to wear that hat.
Right?
He's got to wear that hat on the show.
But you have to come on with that hat in your profile pic. That's what Anth says. So there you go. Omer, Anth, always a pleasure, fellas. Okay, enjoy the rest of your weekends. Everybody, next live show a week from now, all right? Take care. No matter what, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.
Yeah.